Yeah, I'm on this side. In battling, you got to pick a side, which is why I don't fuck with what your man did. You got to pick a side. Pick a side. That's all. Win, lose, or draw, we going to pick a side over here. I'll take that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Please like the video and subscribe. Our target is only 1,000 likes. So just when you thought the drama between the two rap giants, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, wouldn't get any more intense, Drake sued Universal Music Group for defamation. On Wednesday, Drake filed a defamation case against UMG in a New York federal court. In his lawsuit, Drake has accused UMG, the parent company of both artists, of orchestrating a malicious campaign against him. So Drake has alleged that the music label promoted Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us, which he said contains false allegations and caused significant harm to his reputation. As per Drake's lawsuit, the song includes damaging claims including accusations of pedophilia and calls for vigilante justice against him. Drake has also argued that UMG knew all about the lyrics of the song and the images used in the music video and still chose to publish the track for profit.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Maul having a bias for his friend. If another podcast called Maul a pedophile, and we all know for a fact Maul's not a pedophile, and let's say it worked, everyone was going around saying Maul's a pedophile. You don't think I'd have a bias in screaming that Maul's not a pedophile? That was a corny fucking move. Of course I would.
But this is the thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
The issue is when we're trying to get Maul to admit that he has said bias, Maul will say he doesn't have a bias. And I don't think that that's true.
I don't know if we've ever like
I had full out Patreon episode. You weren't here. I sat in that exact spot where you're at, and I asked Maul, did he have a Drake bias? And he said no.
Oh,
as far as when it comes to music?
When it comes to period, that's your friend.
No, yeah, but I don't have a bias when it comes to his music. I've sat on here and said when I didn't like Drake's song. I sat on here and said when I didn't like the single he dropped led was him and SZA, the Slime You.
Oh yeah.
We were having a conversation about the Kendrick battle and the conversation.
Oh, in the battle? I'm riding with my nigga. I don't give a fuck who the other side is.
Okay, but
I'm riding with my man. It's a battling we talking about. Yeah, I'm on this side. In battling, you got to pick a side, which is why I don't fuck with what your man did. You got to pick a side. Pick a side. That's all. Win, lose, or draw, we gonna pick a side over here. I'll take the L, but I ain't gonna be playing double dutch. Nah, we don't do that. So yeah, if it comes to a battle, I'm always riding with my niggas.
And that's where it said, you don't do that. We don't do that. You're setting hip hop rules.
Don't do what?
Not suing in a hip battle, in a rap battle, or not taking rap battles legal is also a hip hop rule. So you can't sit there and say we don't do this, but the other shit we don't do. You cool with.
But you crossing the lines because you saying taking a hip hop battle to court.
I said legal.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not about the battle. It's the business that was done behind a record that was used in a battle. Kendrick Duckworth is not being asked to come to no court or nothing at all. So this isn't about that. This is about what the business did with a song that was used during a battle. This is not about the outcome of a battle and, I'll bring Kendrick in here because he said this about. No, this is not that. Yo, I feel like y'all did some funny shit because y'all know the type of negotiations we having. I feel like y'all did some funny shit behind this record, and I can also prove it. And I also have language in my contract to where y'all violated my contract.
Okay, so final question and we can move on. Do you feel like if Kendrick had put out Not Like Us and it said nothing about pedophilia and still blew up as big as it did, do you feel like Drake would still be suing UMG? If he called him something else, wasn't pedophile.
I feel like
called him something else, still blew up.
I feel like no matter what, if he feels like something in his contract was violated and he's in the middle of one of the biggest negotiations an artist has ever been in the middle of in the history of music, I feel like he would be going to court for it.
Do you think, and I'll ask this again because we kind of went past it, as the final question, do you think Kendrick Lamar has a case against UMG as well?
As far as
defamation. You funded a couple records that said I beat my wife, used my wife's name, talked about my children that aren't mine. Does he not also have a defamation case?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
If he filed that defamation case, if this battle had went the opposite way, if
Kendrick comes out tomorrow and files a defamation case of UMG, I would be like, yo, if they violated some of this contract, I hope he gets all the money he wants.
Okay. All right, cool. Have you guys heard Jim Jones?
It opens with a quote from Lucian Grange, who is the CEO of Universal Music Group. The quote is, "A single lie can destroy a reputation of integrity, and while it takes years to build reputation, it can be ruined in 5 minutes." And the reason why they start with that as the foundation of this lawsuit is because Drake, for all 20 pages, is listing out every single like harmful thing that has happened to him since Not Like Us has dropped.
Harmful.
That's how he names it.
Oh my God.
Since Not Like Us has dropped, including like actual physical violence that he could have incurred and financial harm. So they get into the first couple pages. Now, a couple things that we learned in this lawsuit within the first like 5 pages that we didn't know. Remember when the shooting happened at Drake's home back in May?
Yes.
Yep.
May of 2024. Drake, people have been trying to figure out since then, was Drake home? Drake was in the house, according to this document. He says that not only did the bullet strike the security guard, remember the security guard got hit, had to go to the hospital, all that, but one came through his front door. Basically saying like, we were all in this house, I could have been hit. And all of this happened a few days after the song release. He's blaming everything on the song.
That's very whack, by the way, and I'll tell you why. Because Drake wasn't just going back and forth with Kendrick. He was going back and forth with multiple artists. And didn't the Weeknd's manager get shot?
And
something happened with
California,
the
right?
And everybody, then a few weeks later, the shooting happened at the security guard with Drake, and they had an issue. So why are you just pointing at Kendrick and saying Not Like Us caused this?
I'll get to it. So he details the fact that not only was he home, but he had to endure what the security guard went through. He wasn't physically shot, but it was there was like a mental distress almost, or like a stress on him, because he was a part of the people that they were trying to stop the bleeding on the guard. The ambulance took 30 minutes to get there, so it was a very tragic situation that he had to endure. And he's saying that they point this to the song because of the art on Not Like Us. So they're saying that because
the cover art.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Because this cover art was
picture of
there.
his house. Streamers
used it. He mentions Kai Cenat and how Kai Cenat has like all these millions of views using that art. It exposed where he lived, and then there's been harm because of that.
Everybody know about that big ass house in Toronto.
Now listen, I will say this too. In the documents, Drake team claims that before they don't know if it was one or multiple shooters, but before shots let off, they heard a person yell, can I say that word?
No.
Okay, they heard a person yell F Drake, and then the shots went off. So they're saying that this was targeted at him, and they believe it was because of the song, and they had the location because of that home.
It couldn't have nothing to do with other beef that he had going on with other people.
I'm just telling you what this document says.
Come on, man.
Just side note, you can never say the F word on radio.
I can't even believe you have. I thought you was talking about the gay slur. I was like, whoa.
No, why would I say that?
I don't know.
I don't know why you would think you could say that.
Let's bring it on back. Let's bring it on back.
All right. Crazy over here.
Oh my God. And then he talked about, so remember the next day after the shooting, there was an intruder at his house. He says that basically because of how big the song got, which he says is alleging is because of this whole campaign that Universal Music put out around it.
Oh God.
People were crazy enough to the point where someone came and dug a hole under his gate with their bare hands.
They've been doing stuff like that. Remember when they did it and Odell Beckham was in his house in California? They've been doing stuff like that to you, Drake.
All right. Now, when he gets into the viral campaign that he's saying that Universal Music Group launched, and he says that because of this, people, and not just rap fans, think that he's actually a certified pedophile. And they use the exact quote, certified pedophile. So they're using words from the actual song in this document a lot. Drake is also blaming Universal Music for Kendrick being at the Super Bowl. He's saying that not only did Kendrick... And they do say in this document that
Stop laughing. Let's listen.
Because Kendrick isn't named on, like, Kendrick isn't being sued. Universal Music Group is, but the basis of it is the song. And he's saying that Universal Music Group, once the song was released, and you know what I mean, they got it moving, got it big through bots and third-party streamers and all this stuff that they pay a lot of money for. They then leveraged their very powerful relationships to make sure that this song was everywhere in commercials, on TV, and that Kendrick secured the Super Bowl.
It was a very popular song, though.
I'm just telling you what the lawsuit says.
So
right?
you're telling me
biggest song of the year,
one of the biggest songs ever. So you're telling me nothing Kendrick Lamar has done in his career ever, not the 4 classic albums, the Pulitzer Prize, none of that had anything to do with him being ready to perform at the Super Bowl this year. By the way, this is his second time doing it. This first time headlining, second time doing the Super Bowl.
Well, it's not directly about Kendrick. This is about, according to Drake, this is about Universal Music Group
We gotta
and their
stop saying
intention.
that
Well, I'm telling you what the lawsuit says.
Oh no, I'm with you, but he got to stop saying
it. It is instead completely about Universal Music Group and a company that Drake says decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize a song which they knew contained false claims, right? So then they get into how they allege that Universal Music Group manipulated the internet a little bit more. They said that Universal Music Group removed copyright restrictions on YouTube and Twitch, so that makes it easier for content creators, streamers, anybody to be able to go on and use the song. Because
but didn't they do the same thing for him?
Because normally, we're going to get into what Universal Music Group has said in response to that, because they kind of said similar things to what you're saying.
This is crazy.
They also mentioned the radio stuff. Remember, he said that there was like radio people that were being paid to push the song.
Now that I need to know about. Drake, now you need to snitch.
Stupid.
Tell. Because I think I know who it is, and I don't want them here anyway.
Now they
Jesus.
also.
We don't need people like this in this business.
What's wrong with you? Go ahead,
You
continue
want to put a name on Wax? What do you?
Yes, I do.
Continue on.
I need a name.
Ignore him.
okay.
Ignore him, please.
Now they
Just go.
also mention Euphoria, and they say that if Universal Music Group at all tries to deny that these claims were false, it was in the music that this stuff was false, because in Euphoria, Kendrick says, "Don't tell no lies about me, won't tell no truths about you." So they're saying he was giving y'all the playbook of this is not true, and y'all still leaned in and allowed for this to happen, knowing that this could hurt one of your big artists, both physically hurt him because people were upset and accusing him of things, but also financially harm him. Now, another thing that he talks about that I did not know, he says that there was like a mob-like response to this, right? So people on the internet were upset, people were in person were upset. There were flyers popping up around Canada with him next to this other guy who's been accused of like random sexual assault things as well. And it was just bad for, locally where he was living, to the point where he says that after the shooting and different things, he had to take his son out of school, put him in a different school, and move his son and his son's mom out of Canada completely once the school year ended, because he feared for their safety.
Stupid. This is so stupid.
Now he also says that, remember there was a conversation that we found out that Drake said that he tried to go to Universal Music Group and have a conversation before he went public with any pre-action things, orders, lawsuits, whatever. So they talk about this in the lawsuit, and they say that he did. They said that he went to Lucian Grange, and they point out the fact that Lucian had also been accused or mentioned in conversation when all the Diddy stuff happened, and they moved swiftly to shut that down and do what they needed to. But when it came to Drake, and Drake being put in this pedophile light or whatever, he went to him and said, "Yo, why am I not getting any help on shutting this down?" And they were like, "If you move forward and do a lawsuit, you're gonna look stupid." According to the doc, he said that was their response to him. Like, listen,
these are battle rappers. This is hip hop. This is rap. This is what every artist before you that had that crown did. We could go through Tupac. He did the same thing. We could go through Pusha T. We could go through Jay-Z. We could go through Ice Cube. We could go through, of course, Kendrick. We could go through Nas. We could go through 50 Cent,
Jay-Z,
Cameron, so
Prodigy.
many Common, Prodigy,
50 Cent,
Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj,
nobody
Rory,
has ever
Eazy-E.
Nobody in the history of losing a rap battle has reacted with more whole-like antics than Aubrey Graham.
But it's a rap battle. Like, you win, you lose. You can't lose and then say I lost and it's not fair what you said. Do you go back and listen to some of these diss records and how disrespectful they were?
Yeah,
like,
and listen, don't get me
crazy.
wrong. Nobody wants to be called a pedophile or a sex offender. So in principle, I understand
or have to move your son out of school and all of that stuff as well. Watch somebody get shot.
That is absolutely something, to sue for in principle. And I told you months ago he would do that. But in the context of a rap battle where both of you were saying crazy things about each other, no.
No,